Hey all, how are we all doing? So first of all, just want to come online and say apologies for not uploading any videos the past couple of weeks. It's been a really weird couple of weeks, if I'm totally honest, and I've not really felt the love to be on camera. But things are kind of settling down now, and I was keen to get back on and give you a bit of an update where things are at. So what happened? So one of those hot Saturdays about 2 weeks ago, my 12-year-old son decided just to collapse in the dining room, and he was unconscious for about a minute before he come round, and was obviously then very sort of upset. And on his way down, he managed to sort of bang his head quite severely. So we had a very rushed trip to A&E. Let's put it that way. Still waiting to see if I get any speeding tickets. But we got him to A&E, and they were fantastic. They saw him straight away. I won't go into the full details, but broadly speaking, we think it was connected to the heat and maybe a bit of dehydration. He had a load of tests done, and he's fine now. We had to keep an eye on him for a couple of days because he had a bit of concussion, the way he banged his head on the way down. But he did look like he had gone around with Mike Tyson. But I say he's all good now. But I have to say, it did shake me up a little bit. So I wasn't quite feeling the urge to go on camera. And then last week, whilst I was still kind of getting over everything, I was actually really busy on the boat. And to be honest, it did me some good, just working out there, kind of being on the water, allowed me to sort of find some space to kind of get my head around everything that happened. So the video I was going to make 2 weeks ago was really an update on about where things are at and what's been going on. So I thought I'd run that now, even though we're a couple of weeks down the line. So there's kind of three areas I thought I'd update you on today. And the first one is income. This has been quite a tricky one. So job hunting wise, still no luck. When I say job hunting, when I'm looking for a proper job that pays decent money that can cover my bills, absolutely zero luck there. And I was speaking to a couple of friends the other day who were in the same boat as me, and they seem to be really struggling to find anything. And the market in aviation right now is not improving. If anything, it seems to be getting worse. So as I said to you in the previous video, if the company's not going to pay me what I need, I'm going to try and do it for myself. And I've had some really good outcomes there. So the first thing is the boat. The boat has been keeping me really busy. I've been working 6, 7 days in a row at the moment, but I really enjoy it. And the great thing is it's on my doorstep. I literally 5 minute walk from my house into town, jump on board, and then a quick walk back home afterwards. It really is local. Nice bunch of people, love working with them. And I think I mentioned elsewhere, they are training me as a skipper. So at the moment I'm training for I think it's my level 1, tier 1 moat master? Boatmaster certificate. So I have to do a certain amount of qualifying days in order to start doing the exams. And that's what I'm doing at the moment. The plan is to get those days under my belt over the summer and then hopefully sit the exams over the winter, ready for next year. And what I'll do is in next summer, it will give me a better hourly rate or daily rate, depending on how it works out. And it's something I've always wanted to do. Being a sort of commercial skipper, something I like the idea of staying in my mid-50s as like a sort of last job. But it's come forward early, so I'm just going to grab the opportunity whilst I can. Now, the second one is the airport. It's taken me ages to get an ID. I think I first spoke about this about 6 weeks ago. It's taken until now to finally get an airport ID. That's now all in play, and I've done my first shift last week, and then I'm working evenings this week as well. And basically the job here is to go in the evening, and any foreign carriers that are coming in, basically make sure they're getting all the services and sort of the equipment they need to turn around and get back out again. It's just a 0 hours contract, but that works for me because I can turn and say when I can and can't work around the business and around the sort of boat. The boat's my number one priority, and then I fit the airport in the space around where I can. But it's an extra revenue stream coming in. And the other thing there as well is that I think that will then carry on throughout the winter. So then when the boat goes a bit quiet come the winter, I can maybe ramp up the airport a little bit there. And that's kind of what I'm thinking. Now, these two things don't get me to break even just yet, but it's halfway there, and it's better than nothing. The next one's health. Trying to get some weight off me. And over the past 3 months, I've now lost 3/4 of a stone, which I know for some people isn't a lot, but for me, I'm quite pleased with that. And if I'm totally honest, that's all come from not drinking. I cut the booze out now. I'm coming up to 6 months alcohol free. Now, that's not forever, it's just for now. But just by removing the booze, I've lost 3/4 of a stone. And what I'd also say, because of the boat and I like walking and then also the airport shifts, I'm averaging about 25,000 steps a day. So I'm quite active at the moment, far more active than I've been in a long time before. So I think purely by doing that alone, the weight's sort of starting to drop off me. Then there's the business, trying to make it more sustainable so it brings more money in and can support me longer term. The great news here is over 3 months, I've now taken on another, I think it's 7 new clients, which has been fantastic. I probably didn't expect to do that well from it. I expected it to take longer. So I'm really pleased with that. So the past couple of weeks, I've noticed one thing. I've been really feeling a bit negative about where I am. I think I should be further down the line. And what I realized I was doing was I was comparing myself to other people. I was looking at people on Instagram or YouTube, whatever, seeing how far they'd gone and sort of then looking about where I'm at. And that comparison really made me feel not great. But the truth is, I'm comparing myself with someone that's much further down the journey. And that's when I realized instead of actually comparing myself to other people, I need to compare myself with me. So instead of kind of woe is me, I looked about the past 3 months, what's happened, all the good things, and wrote them all down. And I was surprised just how much I've actually achieved. Now, for against someone else, it's probably not a lot, but for me versus me 3 months ago, I've done pretty well. If I think back on it, I've been alcohol free for 6 months. I've monetized on YouTube. I've managed to find work both on the boat and the airport. I've found those new coaching clients. And I've got kind of my spark back again a little bit. And that's important as well. And when I look at that, I start to feel a lot more motivated about where I am currently. And I think that's really true for any of us. Never compare yourself with other people. It's you versus you. Just try and improve week on week from where you're at. And I think that's where change really happens. If you try and compare yourself to other people's journeys, it'll just stop you doing your own. So it's you versus you. And I'll be taking that forward with me over the next 3 months. What's the plan for the next 3 months with all that in said? With income, the goal there is to basically make hay while the sun shines. Whilst I'm busy on the boat and the shifts there at the airport, grab the money I can to kind of keep me going maybe through what will be the winter months. With the boat also, it's about kind of getting my days done, my qualifying days done in order for me to do my exams. With health, it's to get off that next stone. And for me, I think now it's a focus on the diet and then doing a bit more physical exercise. With the alcohol thing, I think my intention is to now go back to, I might have a few beers socially. I've got a couple of events coming up over the summer that a couple of beers would be nice with mates. So I'm going to see how that works. And the majority of the time, I'm going to stay sort of alcohol free. But to be honest, if there's some social occasions where I want a beer with a mate, I'm just going to let that happen. And I'm just going to monitor that. If I find going back to old habits comes in, I'll just go back to being fully alcohol free again. But we'll just see how that goes over the next 3 months. But broadly speaking, by the end of September, I won't have lost another stone. So then there's the business. Now, number one there is to keep the one-to-one clients coming in and to deliver for the guys I'm currently coaching. Then there's been a project that's been on the back burner for quite some time now. And I've been waiting for the perfect time, the right opportunity. And what I've come discovered, all that's thinking is going to do is keep it on the back burner for another 2 or 3 years. And it's something I've been approached about on more than one occasion. So I'm just going to get going with it. And the plan there is to basically launch a men's community stroke coaching group online. My vision for it is a place where blokes can come together, build a community, get clear on what they want over the next sort of chapter of their life, and actually start doing something about it, taking the action towards it. And that really excites me. As I say, I've got quite a few people approaching me already about it. So I'm just going to go, and the plan is to launch that by September. And in between that, we've also got the kids' summer holiday. So that'll also be keeping me busy and trying to fit work and everything else around that, whilst actually making sure I get some time with my lad. So that's where things are. That's where things are going. My plan is to get back to my regular videos on a Thursday going forward. I say, it may not be perfect, but I try and do it every Thursday where I can. And I'm curious, if you just got this far in a video, what about you? Do you find yourself comparing yourself to others and it actually stops you doing what you want to do? If it does, let me know in the comments below. I'd be really interested to see how it comes out for you. As always, please like as it helps the channel. If you're new, please feel free to subscribe if you find it useful. And as always, I really appreciate you watching. It means a lot to me. And I'll see you on the next one. Cheers for now.